something in the way.
Starscream, we found another minicon. Get ready to...
Shut up, Lord Megatron! You're interrupting my brooding time!
Hello everyone, this is Lincoln Prime, and today we are taking a look at the Transformers Legacy Voyager class Armada Starscream. Now, I do not have the box for this figure anymore, so let's just get right into the review. Overall jet mode looks very, very nice and definitely gives off the Armada vibes, and it does look so good. The parts that I really do like as well are some of the metallic parts, like here in the cockpit, for example, where it's just, you know, this really nice metallic blue. I absolutely love that. And right here for like these thruster areas, it's like a metallic yellow slash kind of goldish color, and I really like the look of that. The Decepticon logos are applied very nicely. They are decals, and everything else just looks so nice. It all comes together really well, so that is something that I do like. Another cool thing is you do have a little port right here if you want to attach an action base, so you can have it like, you know, flying and all that kind of stuff. So that is pretty cool. Now Starscream here does have visible head syndrome, so that is something, but that is something that is accurate to the original toy, so not a huge deal. But the overall just look and silhouette of this jet mode is very nice. Now for a quick comparison with jet mode, here we have the Legacy Armada Starscream next to the original Armada, well, Thundercracker, technically Thundercracker. This is... Okay then. So this is the original Armada Super Mode Starscream, which is technically Thundercracker, but you can see a lot of the similarities between these two. You know, like I said, the visible head thing with the original toy, very similar cockpits, very similar structures with everything, you know, legs, all that kind of stuff, similar transformation as well. So a lot of the stuff that carries over from the old toy, because the Starscream that was in this style did get a release in this particular mold, so you know, they do carry a lot of things over into this figure from the original. Now we do get two accessories, but the first accessory we get is Starscream's iconic wing sword. This does look pretty cool, but only in terms of detail. There's no color to it whatsoever, and it just makes it look kind of bland, but you know, it's wing sword. But the thing that does suck is, unlike the original toy, it does not actually come out of the wing and transform into the sword. They got rid of that. So instead, you can store it underneath one of these two ports right here. So either this port or this port. I prefer this port right here, so you can just pop it on underneath, and you got that. And then the second accessory we get is the Star Saber, which it's pretty cool. It's obviously the Star Saber from Transformers Armada. The thing about it though is it feels a little bit too small, and that is a complaint that a lot of people do have, because these are supposed to be 3 minicons. Minicon 1 is this section right here, Minicon 2 is this section right here, and Minicon 3 is the hilt section, but these do not transform. They're just simply a molded sword, but it still looks good. The blue, you know, it's to emulate the kind of light up effect that it does in Armada, but I don't know, it doesn't really work for me very well. But you know, it's obviously the Star Saber, so and this, you know, same thing, we get 2 ports on either side. I prefer to use this side because it's not the hollowed out part, and just do the same thing, 2 ports right here, pop it on underneath like so, and you can get that going on, which is interesting, but it is something that you can do. So yeah. One thing I do want to mention that a lot of people really do not like, including myself, there's no minicon ports. I'm stupid! And the weird thing about that is other figures that we've gotten recently did come with minicon ports, so why didn't this include any? I really don't know. It really does suck that we didn't get a minicon, but who knows, maybe one day Hasbro or Takara will release something with like a remolded part with a minicon port and an included minicon. Maybe it's just the Transformers Evo Fusion type stuff for the new Legacy Evolution line. Maybe they're including ports for those because the new Hotshot figure does have a minicon port, so maybe that's something that they'll do. I don't really know, but only the future will tell. Now for a few size comparisons. Here we have the Legacy Armada Starscream next to the Siege War for Cybertron Starscream, Earthrise Starscream, and the Legacy Evolution Hotshot. I will show how these two kind of like come hand in hand later on in the video. Now, one more feature I do want to show off is that for the jet mode, it's a thing for both robot and jet mode, but you can flip these forward, and you can also accommodate these with some blast effect pieces. So like this one, for example, you just pop that in, and there you go. So you have options, which is pretty cool. You know, there's no more like minicon gimmick to where you can pop something on and these pop out. Honestly, it feels a little bit too small for that, but that is something that you can do. And I have talked about the jet enough as it is, so let us get down to the transformation. So first, what we're going to start off by doing is coming here to the bottom, taking this section, bringing it down, take these sections right here at the base, and then untab them like so and like so. Next, bring the leg down and around like so, rotate it around like that, come around here to the back, close up that little gap like so, bring out the foot, and then bring out the heel just like that. So there we have one leg all done, and then just do the same thing on the other side. So swing this around, bring it down, close that gap up like so, bring down the foot, and bring out the heel, and rotate the leg around. So there we have the legs all done. And next, what we are going to do is come around here to the top, bring this section and bring it down like so, and that will push the head forward like that. And then take the cockpit section right here, bring it down. There's a tab right here and a slot right here. You'll just align that, bring that there, and flip these little kind of like side fin sections into the sides like so. Next, bring this section down like so, and then for the arms, what we're going to do is take them, untab them, bring them down like so. Midway when bringing it down, there's a little slider joint, so you're going to slide that forward and then bring that up like so. Next, take this little panel right here, untab it, flip out the hand like so, tap that back in, and there we have an arm all done. Next, just take the wing and just fold that out and angle that like so. Do the same thing on the other side, untab that, bring it down, come down here, slider joint, bring that down, bring that up, and then take this section, untab it, rotate out the hand like so, close up that panel, bring down the arm, and bring up the wing, and just angle the, well, and my light turned off, so that's fun. So anyways, now with the light situation out of the way, here we have the Transformers Legacy Armada Starscream in his robot mode, and he looks fantastic. I love being sick. But anyways, moving right into the detail in robot mode, and this figure looks so good. The head sculpt is definitely Armada Starscream. It looks very, very nice. I love the way that the eyes are done. A lot of really nice paint apps for the head. They did a really good job. The overall sculpt of it is really, really nice. Lots of really nice panel detail from the jet mode carried over into the robot mode, and I love the way that that looks. Venting detail for the sides of the arms and for the chest, which looks great, and some more molded detail on the sides of the abs, which also looks great. Paint abs for the arms right here for, well, both arms look very nice. The overall color scheme for everything else is great in my opinion. The hands are molded in red but painted with the same black that a lot of other parts on this figure are painted in, and that also looks pretty cool. Back of the figure is very clean. You know, your classic kind of Armada Starscream back. Obviously the wings are going to be a little bit hollowed out. That's just going to be, you know, part of Transformers figures now. But, you know, more detail on the back of the robot mode, which does look fantastic, and the legs are very, very accurate to the Armada Starscream. So everything on this figure just looks so good in my opinion, and Hasbro really did a great job with bringing this design back to modern time. Now Starscream here can hold his own accessories, obviously, because why wouldn't he be able to? So we do have the sword here, and just pop that into his hand, and that looks great. You can give him the Star Saber as well. I feel like this is more of an accessory for Hotshot though, but you can have Starscream hold the Star Saber, and that looks super cool. So this is an awkward place to pick back up on this review. But I filmed this about, well, at least the parts that you just watched, about close to 2 weeks ago, and yeah, a lot happened within the past 2 weeks. I had TFCon going on and all that kind of stuff, so I'm back to finish up this review. So anyways, let us get right back into it. Now, when it comes to the articulation for Armada Starscream, we do have a ball joint at the head, which allows him to look up about that far. That's more for transformation. I do think that looks a little bit weird though, but it can look that far up, not too far down, and it has this weird issue where it kind of like springs back up on me, but it can go side to side and all the way around like so, and a little bit of side to side like that, and that's pretty much about it for the head. The wings can also rotate as well. That's more so for transformation, but they can go back about that far, forward about that much, so you have a lot of range when it comes to the arms, or sorry, the wings. The arms, you can rotate all the way around like so, move out about that much, and about that much, swivel at the bicep. There's this weird, so for transformation, there's this slider joint right here that I showed off previously, and it's loose. It's very loose, and this part is just, I think, one of the most annoying parts on this figure. I'll go over the other annoying part of the figure pretty soon here, but yeah, so that does suck a little bit, and it's the same thing for this arm. Not as bad as this arm, but yeah, it's still pretty annoying. But anyways, we do have a swivel at the bicep, a really good bend at the elbow, so we can go about that far, and that is really about it. We don't get any articulation in the hand whatsoever, and yeah. Now we do have a bit of a waist swivel, which is impressive because, well, I mean, where is his waist? So yeah, we do get some waist swivelage in there. The legs can kick forward really far up and really far back. The legs can split all the way. In fact, they can split even more, which is crazy, as we do have that. There is a swivel in the thigh, a really nice knee bend, and there is a pivot at the ankle, which isn't great admittedly, but it's okay. And then the foot can move up and down, but that is mainly due to transformation. Now, the other part I'd like to mention that is a bit annoying is this part. This part tends to untab a lot, and it tends to go back on me, so it just kind of becomes this weird floppy mess, and it's only held together by this tab. Now, one thing I do recommend is having these parts up on the back and then flipping this down. That doesn't really do much, but it does keep a little bit more stability, so you're holding something from the back right there. So yeah, you do have a lot of floppy bits on this figure. I guess it might depend on the copy, but I feel like this might be a problem for most copies. But when it comes to and there it went again. But when it comes to articulation, it is very nice. And for a quick size comparison, here we have next to the Siege Starscream, the Earthrise Starscream, and the figure for my next review, the Legacy Evolution Hotshot. And just seeing these two together looks absolutely amazing. One of my favorite battles from Armada so far has been the Starscream versus Hotshot battle, so this just hits all the right places when it comes to, this, essentially. But yeah, I love it.
Remember that time when I shouted, "It's screaming time," and I screamed all over Hotshot? That was the scene of all time.
And just for a basic sense, here we have the new... Cool. Here we have the new Legacy Starscream next to his original toy counterpart, at least the Super Mode version, but here we have next to Super Mode Starscream. And honestly, I really hope that we get, like, I don't know, maybe like a Gen Select version of Super Mode Starscream, just with these colors. I think that would be so cool. And what? Sorry, I meant to say it with this mold. But yeah, I think it would be cool just to see the Legacy Starscream with the Super Mode Starscream paint job. But you know, who knows? Who knows? And for my final comments on this figure, I would absolutely recommend getting this figure, especially if you are an Armada fan. Although I would not recommend this figure if you are an Armada fan, but not a fan of figures from Armada that don't have Minicon ports or the Minicon gimmick. While this is a really good figure, and you know it 100% almost perfectly captures the look of Starscream and Transformers Armada, you know they got rid of the things that made, you know, Armada toys cool, essentially. And while I'm not saying this figure isn't cool, I'm just saying that, you know, they kind of took away kind of the charm to it, essentially. And they didn't even give this figure a Minicon port, which is, you know, that kind of sucks a little bit. Now, do I think it would be cool if we got another version of this figure in the future? And maybe, like I said, you know, Super Mode Starscream, and they included a Minicon port there. I don't know. I think that would be cool. It wouldn't do anything, obviously, but you know, at least it would be there. But yeah, so that, I guess that's the only drawback. But you know, if you're a fan of Armada and you just love Armada Starscream, I definitely think he's one of the best interpretations of Starscream from what I've seen so far of Armada. Yeah, I'd highly recommend picking up this figure. You know, I guess another drawback too is the Star Saber. It's just a bit too small, and you also don't have the transforming sword gimmick from the wings, so that's another drawback. But overall, it is a really good looking figure, fun to transform, okay to mess around with. At least it's still very floppy, so you know, hopefully you guys get a good copy, and like me, where I got a floppy mess in some areas, but it's not terrible. But anyways, guys, that is about it for this review. I hope you'll enjoy. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.